Belarus exists in a space between worlds. It is a country shaped by Europe, yet shadowed by Russia, standing calmly where two civilizations meet. To the outside observer, Belarus feels familiar at first glance. Wide boulevards, orderly cities, and a sense of structure echo the European ideal. And yet, beneath that surface, something older and more reserved quietly watches back. With a land area larger than many European nations and a population of roughly 9 million, Belarus never feels crowded. Space is not a luxury here. It is a constant presence. Streets breathe. Forests stretch without interruption. Towns unfold slowly, as if time itself has agreed to move at a gentler pace. This balance between scale and silence creates a rare atmosphere, one that immediately sparks curiosity. Belarus is a post-Soviet nation, but it does not wear its past loudly. The legacy of the 20th century is present, yet restrained. Order is valued. Routine is respected. Daily life flows with a disciplined rhythm that feels almost meditative. There is no rush, no need to perform, just a quiet understanding that stability itself can be a form of prosperity. What makes Belarus truly fascinating is this dual identity. It looks westward in its architecture and urban cleanliness, yet speaks eastward in language, faith, and memory. Orthodox churches stand as anchors of tradition. Slavic features, customs, and values remain deeply rooted. This is not a country trying to reinvent itself overnight. It is a country choosing continuity over noise. Travelers often describe Belarus as elegant, but the elegance here is subtle. It is found in uncluttered streets, in the absence of chaos, in the way public spaces feel cared for rather than showcased. Nature reinforces this feeling. Flat landscapes, vast forests, and quiet lakes surround cities like a protective shell, reminding visitors that human life here exists in balance with land. Belarus does not demand attention. It invites patience. The longer one stays, the clearer its character becomes. This is a place where extremes soften, where East and West coexist. In that intersection, Belarus reveals its mystery, meant to be understood slowly. Belarus reveals itself not through dramatic mountains or famous coastlines, but through something far rarer in the modern world: space, silence, and a sense of nature that does not compete for attention. This is a landlocked country, completely without a sea. Its terrain is strikingly flat, shaped by ancient glaciers and slow-moving water rather than violent tectonic force. Rivers drift instead of roar. Horizons stretch wide and uninterrupted. In many places, the land feels endless, as if the earth itself has chosen calm over spectacle. Nearly 40% of Belarus is covered by forests, lakes, and wetlands. Vast pine woods breathe quietly beside mirror-like lakes. Marshlands spread out like natural buffers, absorbing sound, movement, and time. These wetlands are not empty spaces. They are living systems, home to rare birds, deep-rooted plants, and ecosystems that have survived centuries of change. Here, nature does not rush, it waits. What surprises many visitors is how clean and untouched this environment feels. Cities never fully overpower the landscape. Instead, they sit within it, surrounded by green belts and open land. Even near urban areas, forests begin suddenly. A short walk can take you from paved streets into deep silence. No crowds, no noise, just wind moving through trees and water resting without disturbance. This quiet geography shapes the Belarusian mindset. Life unfolds slowly here. There is room to think, room to observe, room to exist without constant stimulation. The absence of dramatic scenery becomes its own form of beauty, a beauty based on consistency rather than surprise. In winter, snow flattens the land even further, turning forests into monochrome paintings. In spring, water returns everywhere, filling lakes and marshes until the country seems to breathe out again. Summer brings endless green, while autumn wraps the land in fog and muted gold. Each season transforms the same landscape without changing its character. Belarusian nature does not ask to be photographed. It does not perform. It simply surrounds you. And in that quiet embrace, many realize something unexpected. This stillness is not emptiness. It is presence. Belarus does not announce its history loudly. It carries it quietly, like a deep scar beneath calm skin. To understand this land, one must look beyond borders and dates and listen to what centuries of survival have carved into its identity. For much of its existence, Belarus was never fully its own. Its territory stood at the crossroads of empires, pulled westward by Poland and Lithuania, pressed eastward by Russia, swept through by German armies. Claimed, divided, renamed, and reshaped again and again. Each power left behind architecture, language, and memory. None stayed forever. Wars passed through this land more often than they began here. Villages burned, cities rebuilt. Generations learned how to endure rather than dominate. During the 20th century, Belarus was absorbed into the Soviet Union, where industry rose, ideology hardened, and personal identity was folded into something larger. The Soviet era left behind wide avenues, concrete monuments, and a culture shaped by discipline, order, and restraint. Then, in 1991, independence arrived quietly. No grand rupture, no dramatic reinvention. Belarus stepped out of the shadow of the Soviet Union, carrying habits formed over decades, even centuries. The past did not disappear. It settled into daily life. At the heart of Belarusian identity stands Orthodox Christianity. Church domes rise softly above neighborhoods, not as symbols of power, but of continuity. Faith here is not performative. It is private, steady, and deeply woven into family life and tradition. Alongside it lives a Slavic cultural core that values modesty, endurance, and emotional restraint. What makes this history remarkable is not conquest, but survival. Belarus endured occupations, shifting borders, and ideological storms. Without losing its sense of order or social cohesion, the people learned how to adapt without erasing themselves, how to remain whole while being shaped by forces far larger than them. Today, Belarus feels calm not because its past was gentle, but because it was heavy, and those who carry heavy history often learn the value of silence, stability, and resilience. After centuries shaped by empires and survival, the story of Belarus becomes most visible in its people. History did not harden them, it refined them. Walk through the streets of Minsk or smaller regional towns, and one detail stands out almost immediately. Belarusians carry a distinctly Slavic appearance. Light hair catching the northern sun, clear, pale eyes that seem calm, observant, and unhurried. Tall, well-proportioned figures shaped by a land that values balance over excess. There is a quiet elegance here. Never aggressive, never demanding attention. Belarusian women, in particular, often surprise visitors, not only because of their beauty, but because of how naturally it is carried. Carefully styled hair, thoughtful clothing choices, a sense of self-respect expressed through appearance rather than display. This is not vanity. It is discipline mixed with pride. What makes the impression linger, however, is not looks alone. It is warmth. Behind reserved first impressions lies a culture of genuine hospitality. When spoken to with respect, Belarusians open slowly, but sincerely. Smiles are not automatic. They are earned, and once given, they feel real. Foreign visitors often notice how approachable people become. Once trust is established, a conversation turns into shared tea. Shared tea becomes an invitation. Hospitality here is quiet but generous, rooted in the belief that guests reflect one's own dignity. This warmth carries historical weight. A nation that endured occupation learned the value of human connection. In Belarus, community mattered when institutions failed. Kindness was survival, not performance. That legacy remains. Men tend to appear reserved at first, formal and measured. Women are often more openly helpful, guiding, explaining, and assisting without expectation. Together, they form a social rhythm built on mutual respect rather than noise. Belarusian beauty, then, is not just visual. It is cultural. It is the elegance of people shaped by history who learn to remain gentle without becoming fragile. A reminder that true attraction often comes from calm strength and quiet humanity. To truly understand Belarus, one must look beyond faces and landscapes and observe how daily life quietly functions. This is where the country reveals its most unexpected strength, not through excitement, but through order. Belarus is widely regarded as one of the safest countries in the region. Crime rates remain low, even though alcohol is a visible and accepted part of social life. This paradox often surprises outsiders. Bars are active, evenings are lively, yet chaos rarely follows. The reason is simple. Self-control is deeply ingrained. Public behavior is governed not by fear, but by habit. Daily life moves within clearly defined boundaries. Rules are not suggestions. They are part of the social contract. In public parks, drinking alcohol is forbidden. Smoking is restricted. Dogs are not allowed to roam freely. Bicycles are prohibited in many green spaces. These rules may feel strict to visitors, but they serve a purpose. They protect shared spaces. Cleanliness is treated almost as a civic duty. Littering is not tolerated. A single careless act can attract attention from civilian police. Fines are real. Consequences are enforced. As a result, cities feel unusually clean, green areas remain pristine, and public spaces belong to everyone equally. This discipline creates a sense of calm. Parents feel safe letting children play. Elderly people walk without fear. Foreigners often remark on the absence of visible homelessness or disorder. It is not perfection. It is consistency. Social rules extend beyond law. Belarusians value moderation. Loud behavior draws quiet disapproval. Public arguments are rare. Respecting shared silence is a sign of good upbringing. Generosity is appreciated, but showing off is not. There is comfort in this structure. Life feels predictable. Days follow rhythm rather than impulse. For some, this feels restrictive. For others, it feels deeply reassuring. In Belarus, safety is not advertised. It is simply lived. Order is not loud. It is invisible until you realize how smoothly everything moves. This is a society that believes peace is built, not through freedom without limits, but through discipline shared by all. In Belarus, prosperity does not announce itself. It whispers. The economy here is not built on spectacle or rapid growth. It is built on continuity. Average monthly income remains modest by European standards, often ranging between $450 and $700. On paper, this feels limiting. In reality, it tells a more complex story. Daily life is carefully calibrated to these numbers. Rent, even in the capital, is still relatively accessible. A simple apartment can be found at a price that would feel impossible. In most Western cities, utilities remain affordable, though recent years have brought noticeable increases. Food costs are reasonable, especially for local products. People cook more than they dine out. Consumption is intentional, not impulsive. Belarusian economic stability is rooted in its past. Much of the country's industrial backbone comes from Soviet-era factories that never fully disappeared. They continue to produce machinery, vehicles, fertilizers, and essential goods. Alongside this stands a powerful agricultural sector. Dairy, potatoes, and grains are not cultural symbols by accident. They are pillars of survival and self-sufficiency. Tourism adds a quieter layer. Not mass tourism, but slow, deliberate visitors drawn by architecture, nature, and human warmth. This creates income without overwhelming local life. Yet change is happening. Prices are rising. Migration pressures and regional instability have pushed housing and living costs upward. Young people feel this tension most. Many seek opportunities abroad, sending money home, keeping families afloat from a distance. Still, there is dignity in how life continues. Luxury is rare. Debt culture is limited. People measure success not by excess, but by security. This is an economy that teaches patience. It does not promise rapid ascent. It offers something quieter instead. Predictability, shelter, food on the table. Belarus reminds the observer that a life does not need to be glamorous. To be grounded, sometimes, stability itself is the rarest form of wealth. In Belarus, numbers tell a silent story, and women stand at its center. Across the country, women form the majority of the workforce. They are present everywhere, in offices and factories, in hospitals, schools, shops, and public institutions. They are not an exception to the system. They are the system holding it together. The reason lies beyond beauty or culture. It lies in movement. For years, many Belarusian men have left. Some travel to Russia, others to Europe. They go where wages are higher, where opportunity feels closer. Money flows back home, but presence does not. What remains is a demographic imbalance. More women than men, not just statistically, but emotionally, socially, economically. Women become providers, caregivers, decision-makers, often at the same time. They manage households alone, raise children, support aging parents, and still show up every morning, well-dressed, composed, moving through the city with quiet strength. There is no performance here, no demand for recognition, just responsibility carried with grace. This creates a unique social atmosphere. Women are visible, confident, independent by necessity, not ideology. They do not wait for permission to build a life. They build it because it must be built. Yet behind this strength lies weight. Choices become heavier. When balance is missing, relationships form differently. Expectations shift. Loneliness exists, but it is rarely spoken aloud. Still, Belarusian society adapts. Communities tighten. Friendships deepen. Women support one another in ways that feel organic, almost instinctive. This is not a story about dominance. It is a story about endurance, about filling the space left behind without resentment, about keeping daily life intact, while history reshapes the population. In Belarus, women are not simply admired, they are relied upon, and perhaps that is what commands the deepest respect. Not how visible they are, but how much would quietly collapse. Without them, this balance is fragile, but for now, it holds. To understand Belarus, one must accept its contradictions. They are not hidden, they are lived. The streets are remarkably clean. Public spaces feel calm, organized, almost restrained. Cities move without chaos. Crime is low. People walk at night without fear. There is a visible sense of order, as if the country has chosen stability as its highest priority. Yet beneath this calm surface, control is never far away. Rules matter here. They are followed not out of enthusiasm, but out of understanding. What can be done is known. What should not be done is equally clear. This clarity creates safety, but it also creates boundaries that are rarely questioned out loud. Belarus is one of the very few countries in Europe where the death penalty still exists. It is not discussed loudly in daily life, yet it remains a powerful symbol. For outsiders, it is shocking. For locals, it is part of a reality, shaped by history, authority, and fear of disorder. Freedom here feels different. It is quiet, private, internal. People do not protest with noise. They adapt with silence. They build meaningful lives inside the space that exists, rather than fighting the space that does not. This creates a society that feels disciplined, but also deeply human. Neighbors help each other. Communities function smoothly. There is dignity in routine, pride in endurance. Belarus does not try to impress. It does not sell dreams. It offers something rarer: consistency. For travelers, this can feel unsettling. For observers, fascinating. For those who stay long enough, it becomes a lesson. A nation does not have to be loud to be strong. It does not have to be free in the Western sense. To feel safe, structured, and intact. And it does not have to be perfect. To be real, Belarus exists in the space between ideals and reality, between Europe and Russia, between openness and control, between admiration and discomfort, and perhaps that is why it lingers in the mind, not as a postcard, not as a fantasy, but as a country that asks to be understood, not judged. A place worth listening to, slowly. Belarus is not a country you simply visit. It is a country you feel, question, and slowly understand. If this story changed the way you see the world, like the video to support deeper journeys like this. Comment below what surprised you most about Belarus, and subscribe if you want to explore countries the world talks about quietly, but never forgets. The journey continues.